everyone. Today we're going to make a small little fall arrangement, and I'm just using leftover stems that I have from another project. So I'm going to be using these orange roses as well as the mauve I've got leftover from another project. So we're just using up the bits that I have left. I have a little piece of this little purple grass bush left. I have two little pods left. I have some sage green that was in my greenery stash. The only thing we might add that is not a scrap would be this if I decide to add this gypsum. I also have some of our cottonwood ivy. I'm not sure I'm going to add it. I think we'll probably not. I'm just going to leave that one out. I'm going to make an executive decision. We're just going to go with the sage, and then these flowers have green in them. So we're just going to tie these two colors together. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of this sage green in here. Just a few pieces. And then we'll start with our florals and use this as filler later. But I'm going to get a little bit on here to get started. I think I want maybe a piece trailing, so I'm going to cut this. Okay, let's do maybe one more this way. So we kind of crisscross that. Crisscross applesauce that. Okay, so we're going to save all these bits for later. Let's go in with some of our flowers. So let's use up this bush first because those have one little stem on it. Giving my head a little bit of a bend. So we're going to get that one right there. Let's go in with another one. I'll use at least 3. I like to work in odds. If we add more, we can, but I'm going to get this one kind of coming out. So it's kind of following, it's right on top of our little sage piece, so it's kind of flowing out with that. And then let's do the same on this side. Again, I'm giving it a bend. And I'm going to put it here, and it's going to kind of flow out with that one. So that's what we have so far. Okay, now I'm going to go in with some of the mauve ones. You could keep this all orange if you wanted, but I like pulling in the different colors. You know, fall is all about the changing of the leaves and all the pretty colors of fall. So we're going to add some of these mauve ones in here as well. I'm going to do this one kind of right on the back side of this orange one, but not quite as tall. Okay, not quite as tall. Another one. I'm going to go sort of on the side with that little sage that we left, or that we started with, this one right here. Okay, and then let's get one lower in the front. All right, so we've got a lot of different flowers in there, different heights, different sizing, so, you know, it's not all looking like matchy-matchy or anything. I'm going to get these thistle sprays added now. Okay, I've got a tall one. I think we're going to go right in there with that one, sort of right in the center. So I'm not able to go live with you guys today, so I thought I'd pop on and do this little arrangement with some leftover stuff we had from, I think it was last week's live design, y'all. A few of these pieces were from last week's live design. So if you missed it, y'all go check it out. We did a really pretty fun fall arrangement live. And so this week we are down at Dallas Market looking for spring 2026 goodies. Can you believe it? And So I'm not able to go live today. So I shared this fun little quick. I love doing these little small arrangements. I'm using these small little dough bowls. I think they were like 8 inches, really small. They make perfect little arrangements, a little bit less expensive of an option. This one I'll probably end up putting in our little boutique that we just opened. Well, we have a little booth in a boutique. It's not our boutique. We're renting a space there. So we're trying it out. This is my first little booth, so we'll see how it goes. But this is something I think that will sell well in there because it's smaller, a little less expensive. You know, people are used to paying a higher price online, but sometimes in person, it's a harder sell. So we're going to start with little things in there. All right, so I'm just adding a few of these little purple leaf bushes in here. We're using scraps. So this is I got just a couple pieces left over. So we're going to put 2 of my bigger ones there in the front, and then I'll put one of the smaller ones there in the back. Okay, just put it right there. And I have 2 little pieces I'll stick on the sides. Making sure I hear my crunch. I think I need to put that one on the pick. It's got a little wobbly stem on it. There we go. That is better. More secure. I'm going to just go ahead and put this one on a pick too. I'm going to go over here with that one. All right. Now let's add our little pods. I got 2 little pods. And I don't normally like to work in evens, but it is what it is. We are the artists, so we can do what we want, right? Do what we want. So I'm going to put one of these back here. Got one in the back. And then I think I'm going to put one right in the front. I need to make it lower. I think I'm going to put this one right here. Love it. I love these pots. These are my favorite new little toy. It's these little pots. They're so fun. We only have a few left. They've been selling like crazy. I think everybody else likes them too. They're so fun. All right, so we've got just a couple of florals left. I don't know if I want to add them or just fill it in with greenery. Decisions. I'm almost inclined just to add them because I don't want to hang on to them. I'm trying to get rid of my stuff. So let's cut it up. And then we'll see. We shall see. This is optional. Like, you don't have to add these many flowers. Like, it's pretty just like this. Fill it in with some greenery. And you'll have a less expensive option. I think I'm going to put this one in the back. A little lower. I may not end up adding them, y'all. We'll see how it looks. I think I need a more orangier one right here. Let me see. Let's see if I add one right here. Kind of cluster that next to our pod. Could do one on this. I did one on the side over here, so why don't we do this other one on the side on this one? All right. So nice and full of pretty colorful flowers. Isn't that pretty? All right. Now we're going to go and fill in some more with our little sage greenery. And we don't have any of this in stock anymore. This is an old greenery. I just had some pieces left that's in my bin. You know, we all got those little greenery bins for all our scrap. I don't think I'm ever going to clear it out. But these are perfect. Perfect little things to use your scraps. Anytime you're making little arrangements like this and you need this like fill of greenery around the bottom, these are perfect for using your little scrap pieces. So we're going to get some of this added. And these I have our pushers, which is good when you're trying to do, of course this one's being difficult, it's not one to push up, but there it goes. Little pusher brushes are good when you're trying to fill around the bottoms. I'll hide that greener for you. Let me get a few more. I'm digging out my box. I'm digging from my box over here. Alright. And I may do another taller piece because I like to, and I teach this in my design group, I like to bring my greenery throughout my arrangement. So if I have something on the bottom, I also want to bring it into my arrangement. I don't want it just on the bottom. That doesn't look very cohesive. So that's why I added that one there. We're going to bring it into our arrangement. And then I got to decide if I want to add some of that gypsum to it or not. I like the color of it. Okay, I'm adding some in the front now. I like the color of the gypsum, adding that sort of natural tan in here. Just enough I want to open the bush. That's my only hesitation. Because then I'm going to have more scraps. But we may do it anyway, just because it's going to be pretty. Okay, I think I want to bring one more piece of this right here. Gorgeous. Aren't these colors so pretty? And you can go in with any greenery. I know this is a little bit of a lighter greenery, but I think it still looks pretty in here. But go in with whatever color. You could do a light green, a dark green, a yellow tone, blue tone, whatever you want. But these colors of the flowers, it all looks pretty. You can even tuck, I've got some of these little fall maple leaves left over. Let me see. I'm going to make my own pick. I'm just taking a stem. Just taking a stem that I have from what I just cut off. And I'm just going to put a little glue on there and run this little maple leaf in there. I've created my own little pick, so maybe we can get a couple of these added. You get another one. These are just some of the leaves that came off from when I was working on something else, and they're just sitting on my table, so why not? Okay, so we'll get a couple of these. Let me get some more of these little stems. I'm just gluing them in there. Oops. Some of them going easier than others. Let me try this end. Yeah, this end's better. All right, let me hit that with a little bit of glue so it doesn't come off. How many more I got? I got 2 more. All right. I'll do a couple little ones for the bottom. And then we can add a steel pick on it too, if we need a little bit more length. Okay. So I made my own little picks with these little leaves that were laying on my table. Yay me. Get them off of my table. Alright. So let's add in a couple of these. And these are all scraps. So, I mean, you don't even have to, like, I won't even charge probably for these leaves. They were literally just scrap on my table. I'm probably not going to add that cost into my arrangement. I mean, it's personal preference. You definitely could. You could throw in $1. But add one more. But I already have charged for these in whatever arrangement I used this on. I would have pulled a bush and I would have priced my other arrangement for that bush, and these few little leaves that came off, they're already paid for in that other arrangement. So that's what I'm saying. I probably will not even add that cost into this one. But again, that's personal preference. There's probably some designers out there that say I'm doing the wrong thing and I should be charging, but hey, this is my piece, and if I don't want to charge for a couple little scrap leaves, then so be it. Right? So I'm gonna add a few just tucked in. I think this is nice. I like having these little leaves in here. And it fills in some more holes for us. Brings in a little bit more of the orangey color. I can tuck one right down here. Actually, let me use my little lower piece for that. Have a little baby piece. Okay, I've got one more. Kind of want it in here, but I'm gonna need a longer pick. So let me get a wooden pick. Get my floral tape. Now the flowers I will charge for it because I still have like half a bush. So I'll just charge for half. I'm not going to charge for a full bush. So those I would charge for, but leaves that are just laying on my table, no. Okay. I know I don't need that quite that long. Looking pretty good. I kind of got one little bald spot right back here. We're kind of heavy on our green. I almost need a flower there. Do I have anything up here? I don't. That's okay. It's in the back. This is our back, so I'm not too worried about it. Let me just see if I can pull one of these. Just pull one of these maple leaves down. There we go. So I just pulled one of these little maple leaves down. And that kind of broke up that greenery just a little. All right, so now I'm going to decide if I want to add some of these. Let me just cut off one little baby piece and tuck it in here. I really do like I like having the little flyaway wispies in here, so we're going to add a few. I'll end up with extras, but we'll just save it for the next one. I know I'm not done with fall, so I'll be using it again at some point. I'm really just starting fall, so. But isn't that fun having a few little flyaways in there? You always, in floral design, you're always talking like thriller, filler, and spiller. This is kind of like filler and a thriller, really. But fun little accent texture in here. And now I got to part my C's so I can get into my foam. I may have to put it on a pick. Yes. Makes it easier to get some of these little flimsy stems in there when you got it on a pick. And you can get it more precise where you want it. And then I'm just going to kind of place them where I want. Okay, let's get another one. Oh, my pick did not close all the way. Let's try that again. We've done a good job with hiding our foam. I'm not seeing any foam anywhere, so that is good. If you did, just, hit it with a little bit of moss or another little scrap of green. I'm going to add just a couple more of these. I'm not going to go crazy. They're just going to kind of be tucked in there, here and there. Then I'm just kind of placing them where I want them. They're almost like, how you get flowers with like baby's breath. Oh, y'all, I ran out of picks. How you get flowers with baby's breath? That's kind of what this is doing. It's kind of just like your little baby's breath. I was able to just stick that one there. without my pick, because I'm going to have to refill my pick machine. Okay, let's get a couple on the ends. I may have to pause to fill my pick machine, or I can just place them here for y'all. Let me see, and then I can always do that afterwards. Let me see if I can get it in. Get that with some glue. Get some of these on the side a little bit, so we're just kind of all the way around. I think we want a little piece in the front, so I'm just going to go in with like a little baby piece, because I don't want it super long in the front. Just a couple pieces coming out. Alright, I'm about to put that on a pick, but for y'all, I'll just leave it there. You can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to add a couple pieces in the front. But I think it turned out pretty, so I'm going to get my picks reloaded. Maybe tuck a couple more of these in here. But here is our beautiful little simple fall arrangement using our leftover pieces, except for the gypso. And if you don't like how tall these are, you know, you can just give them a haircut. If they're sticking up too much for you, I mean, I don't really mind it, but you can just give it a haircut. So you can still have some of these in here without being super tall. A lot of it will depend, like when you photograph it, you'll kind of see, oh, this piece is a little sticking up too much for me. And then you can just trim it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Until next time, bye y'all.